What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and continue learning about some weird facts about Japan. Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, feel free to go check that out first, or stay here in Part 2. That's perfectly fine. But in Part 1, I started learning about some really interesting differences between Japan and America. Like how in Japan, you have all those crazy vending machines and different types of toilets, and you even have unique stamps for paperwork. So today, I'm very excited to see what other strange things there are in Japan. So let's take a look.
Weird fact number 10. Japanese students have to join a school club when they're in junior high school and in high school.
Japanese students have to join a club. It's mandatory. Wow. Well, here in America, it's not mandatory. You don't have to join a club, but I kind of understand Japan's reason for this. It is good for your personal development to join a club. It's good to socialize and learn something. So, I'm actually okay with this. This kind of makes sense to me.
They are kind of forced to join a school club. I got a very serious mental disease because of the club, and I lost 15 kilograms when I enrolled in junior high school. Usually you have to stay at school after a class until 6 or 7 p.m. every day.
Whoa, wait, what? Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, this is more extreme than I thought. So in Japan, you have to join a club, and you go to the club every day for hours after school? Okay, that's a little different than America. I think our clubs are less intense. It's not every day, or it's only part of the year. And you don't have to go. It's not mandatory. You don't have to go. So, I don't know. This actually does sound a little extreme to me.
And you have to go to the club even on weekends, depending on the club you join.
Weekends? You have to go to the club on weekends? Oh, no. No, this would never work in America. Oh, man. Japanese students have really great discipline to be able to do this. I will say that.
Not to mention that you have to take part in these club activities during the school vacations, even in winter vacation, like Christmas or Oshogatsu. It's when can students take a break?
Wow, I mean, it sounds like from this woman's point of view, she sounds really frustrated with having to join a club in Japan. Are there any Japanese people who enjoy the club, or is this kind of annoying for Japanese people out there? I don't know.
I never want to go back to my school life again. If I had to, I would rather die. It was a nightmare to me.
Wow. Club was a nightmare for her. Wow. Was it that bad?
本当に。No. Weird fact number 11. Yes, most Japanese students have to stay at school until very late for their clubs. And do you think they will straight go back home after the club finishes? No, nearly half of the students will also go to the cram school. So when
What? Wait, what? Okay, so you're already staying after school for a club, and then a lot of students head to cram school, like more studying? after club. You don't go home. I mean, gosh, I guess this explains why Japanese seem so intelligent and I think score very highly on tests. And Japanese have very good discipline. This explains it to me, because the expectations for Japanese students are much higher than American students. That's for sure.
And they finish their club very late, and then they will go to the cram school to study more.
Wow.
Luckily, my parents respected my life, so I didn't have to go to the cram school, but so many of my friends got home at around like 9 or 10 p.m. each night.
Oh my gosh. You barely have any time at home. You almost have to go to sleep. You get home so late. You have no life. I guess if you're trying to accomplish a lot in school and academically and get into a university, or I guess this will pay off eventually, but that's a lot.
And I can't believe or understand like why like Japanese parents and teachers think that this is okay. Because quite honestly, it makes school life sound a lot more like being in prison, right?
Wow, school is like prison. She thinks Japanese school is like prison. I mean, as an American, I would agree. This is way too much. But I'm guessing that the results are very good. But it's a lot of work. Americans could never do this.
Next, we had fact number 12. This is also about Japanese students. Sorry, I love to complain about this. Usually Japanese universities take 4 years for a degree, but Japanese university students will start job hunting when they enter the 3rd year of the university.
Oh, wow. So it's the same in America. You have 4 years to get a degree. But in Japan, you start looking for a job in your 3rd year. Wow. I mean, that sounds kind of nice. If you have a job waiting for you when you graduate, that actually sounds kind of nice.
So like after 2 years of studying, and they will try to find a job in the first term of the 4th year. It's like, what is university for? And if you don't have a job when you have just graduated from university, people will look at you and think like, oh, you must be a loser.
So if you don't get a job, you kind of feel like a failure. But I will say, if you have a job already lined up before you graduate, that would relieve a lot of anxiety and stress. So I guess there's pros and cons to this.
I hate this atmosphere in Japan. So this is one of the reasons why after graduating and enrolling in my post-grad study, I decided to take a year off. Because this madness could happen, right?
Wow.
Weird fact number 13. Japanese people are really, 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 truly proud of Japanese rice.
Japanese rice. Is Japanese rice different to the rice we have here in America? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had Japanese rice. I like rice. A lot of Americans do eat rice. It is considered an Asian food. So we don't have it all the time, but I like rice. Is Japanese rice better?
Yeah, and I'm also proud of my Japanese rice too. It's a little bit sticky, not dry at all, but almost like nutty in flavor. And it's hard to explain, but it's so good, so tasty that Japanese people often eat it on its own.
Whoa. Okay, this sounds a lot better than American rice. Japanese rice is slightly sticky. I think this is so you can use chopsticks, right? And it has a nutty flavor. A nutty flavor. I've never heard of rice having that much of a flavor. This sounds really interesting, actually. I wouldn't mind having some, actually. That sounds really cool.
To make good rice, some people buy, not some, maybe quite a lot of people buy rice cooker that costs like nearly like $10,000.
What? What? Most Japanese people have a really expensive rice cooker? This is a machine for cooking rice. Okay, Japanese people take rice to the next level. In America, rice is, I don't know, it tastes fine. It's kind of bland. It doesn't have that much flavor. A lot of us make instant rice. We don't really use rice makers that much. I didn't know rice could be so much better. Now I'm interested.
We are the factor number 14. We don't really have options for vegetarians or vegans.
Oh.
So especially if you're vegan, it might be quite difficult to travel around Japan. And
You don't have options for vegetarians, and especially not for vegans. That would be a lot of trouble for a lot of Americans. I guess in Japanese culture, do you just not really believe in vegetarian or vegan? You just eat a lot of meat, I'm guessing?
big cities, there are some options available, but the farther away you get, you will definitely have a difficult time. And also, they're quite expensive, I think.
I guess there is Japanese food you can get if you're vegetarian, like rice and vegetables, beans, stuff like that. You could probably figure it out.
Okay, lastly, we are the fact number 15. There are only 2% of foreigners in Japan, and 80% of the foreigners in Japan are from Asian countries.
Wow. This is really interesting. So, Japan does not have that much immigration. Only 2% of the population are foreigners. That's really interesting. So, when you go to Japan, you're basically going to see 98% Japanese people. Very homogenous society. I've heard that it's very difficult to try to become a Japanese citizen. That's interesting because here in America, I mean, we allow a lot of legal immigration. We allow a lot of illegal immigration. A lot of immigrants just walk into America. Just walk in. And the government helps them. The government gives them money and shelter and allows them to stay in America. So America has lots of immigrants, lots of foreigners. Seems like the opposite in Japan, actually.
So if you go to the countryside in Japan, it's really hard to find a foreigner. If I see a foreigner where I live, I'll be like, where are you from? Like, why are you here? The other day,
It sounds like it would be fun to be a foreigner in Japan. Like, you might get a lot of people coming up to you asking where you're from. That'd be kind of funny. In America, there's a lot of people from Mexico or India or all over the world, and it's not that unusual here. So people don't really stop and wonder where people are from that much. It's just kind of normal here. Just a different philosophy, I guess.
when I was walking outside with my English boyfriend, an old man cycled past us and he shouted at my boyfriend. He said, like, 外国人? Like, foreigner? American? American? So my boyfriend said, イギリス人です. Like, I'm British. And he said, 気をつけてね, take care. Yeah, he was a friendly old man.
So, that's cool, actually. I don't mind that Japan is very homogenous. It's just mostly Japanese people in Japan. That's just how it is. That sounds fine to me. And it's kind of cool how if you're a foreigner in Japan, it's kind of special and you get a little bit of attention. That's kind of funny.
So yeah, foreigners are rare in the Japanese countryside. So if you want to feel like
Huh.
you're in the center of arena, I recommend you go to the countryside when you come to Japan. Okay, that was my 15 weird facts about Japan. I really hope you enjoyed.
That was really good. That was really interesting. Japan is really different from America. That's what I've learned here. Some really big differences, especially with school, the clubs and the cram school. The food is different. The toilets are different. So many parts of Japanese society are so different to how we do things here in America. And it's really, really interesting. It's really fun for me to learn about such a different culture. So I thought this was great. This was by Bite Size Japanese. I got to give this video a like because I thought that was so interesting. So interesting hearing from a Japanese person about some of the weird stuff in Japan. That was really cool. I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these weird facts about Japan. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Japan and learning about Japanese culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.